What is the date today? 25th? 2021?
26th.
26th.
Yep.
January 25th, 2021, meeting of the Agricultural Commission to order. With that, I don't know if we have any correspondence. And if there is, I haven't heard anything. Have you? Anybody heard anything on call?
I didn't receive any correspondence, Mr. Chairman, but
Okay.
I did receive a reach out from the custodians of the Dayton Community Garden, and they did want to provide us an update at the February meeting of the Agricultural Commission. And so is everyone okay with that?
Yes, I was going to bring that up a little later because Jenna got in contact with me over the weekend. She, I guess she was having a hard time getting through to you, and she just wanted to make sure that they would be able to get on the agenda. And I was going to make a notation of that this evening, but you already did it, so we're good.
Yes, absolutely. And I did put the update on tonight's agenda, but they preferred to wait till February, which obviously is fine. But I do have some updates on what has happened at the site from the town perspective, which we can get to later.
If you'd rather do the, well, that kind of goes under correspondence. Why don't we do that now? And then once we get into the meat and potatoes, and then after that, we just have to do the approval of minutes and call it an evening. Absolutely,
Mr. Chairman. My update is very brief. Mr. Ferry and the Highway Department were great in terms of the demolition of the historic, unfortunately, James Brigg House at 949 Somerset Avenue. They did an excellent job, very quick, very thorough. And they also were very quick and thorough with taking down a couple trees that needed to be taken down due to the approved community garden plan. So they would have been a bit intrusive or provided too much shade. So those were removed and taken care of, or they're still in process of taking, like processing the leftover stumps, I guess, or tree parts. So, but that work mostly has been concluded. So the highway department did a phenomenal job. That's the only update I have on the town side, except for the last request that I saw was to what to do with the stones, Mr. Chairman, from the foundation.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yep. I noticed that. What is that some significant part of the real estate that needs to stay, or does it have historical value?
I think, yes, I think excuse me, there is some, excuse me. Let me just take a sip of water.
Sure.
There is some historical significance in terms of the home being historic and the foundation was in really good shape. And so I think the Historical Commission has expressed interest in saving the stones. And of course, I'm not sure exactly if the custodians had any plan for the stones, but I think they could be reworked into some type of I don't know, structure or not putting them for sitting, but like arranging them in a way where it looks nice and incorporating that into the community garden plan as well. So I think there's things that could be done to preserve and honor the stones, which are the last real lasting part of the home that was demolished. I'm not sure if it's significant to answer you, Mr. Chairman, but it's sentimental to the folks who.
When I drive by every morning when I go to get a coffee, and the way they look, I mean, they look good where they are. I mean,
they do. Yeah, I didn't have a preference if I know there was a question of whether the foundation, like we wanted to like not have it look the way it is and really dismantle it. I think it looks fine the way it is, but I just said that if the foundation is going to be taken down or dismantled, whatever the word is, that we should preserve the stones.
Okay.
How big a cellar was in that?
The cellar was down there, Mr. Buffington?
Now, how big a cellar was in the foundation, or was it just around it was just the ground?
I never went in there, so I really honestly don't know, to be honest.
It's probably about an 8 by 12 area, John, where the stone is. It's really, it's at a different elevation than the rest of the property. I think it's, could be left the way it is. I mean, that's my opinion, and do some sort of decorative garden around it, and I think it would be fine. But that's
Could it be used as a raised bed?
No, because it's a, the stone is all together in like an 8 by 12 block.
Oh, okay, so it's not a hole in the ground anymore
No,
then?
there's no hole. It's perfectly
Okay.
graded around it. I noticed the way the stone was. I said, there's got to be some significant factor there, and it's looks like it belongs there. Is what I think what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It kind of might be interesting to leave it. And if we did, could we do some sort of plaque or something, saying what it is?
I mean, that's definitely a good idea that we could speak to the custodians at our next meeting, and maybe I don't think there were plans to actually dismantle it. I think the question was, do we have to dismantle the foundation? And if we do, what to do with the stones? And I don't think there was any pressing need to, nothing's really going on over there. And even if the community garden plan was to start to be implemented tomorrow in like a best case scenario, I don't think it has any intrusion or effect on the foundation as it is.
No, I'm not going to go off onto a little tangent, but back when I was in school, middle school, when the junior high is where the playground is, when I attended school there, Mrs. Watson was the art teacher. In that whole section of Dayton, all the stonework was done by a gentleman by the name of Stout George Briggs. And that's the type of work he did. So I don't know if there's historic factor there, or if that was part of his stonework, I don't know. Across the street primarily was. And when they built the 40B back there, a lot of the stone wall had to stay because it was all had historical value.
That's awesome.
So, okay. We got we'll just have to get back with Jenna and let her know the date of the February meeting. And with that, any more comments?
I'm wondering if we should bring in the town historian to see if there's any special history and stuff that we want to think about as well, kind of going off of what you were saying before, that history, but if we could learn more about it, I think that would be a great opportunity to educate others on it.
Yeah, Myrna would know.
Absolutely. We can send her an email and see, I don't know what she has going on right now, but we can definitely send an email and reach out and tell her we'd love to know more. Anything she knows about the Briggs house and the property, I think that would be great.
Okay, very good.
Brett, what was her name?
Myrna Santos.
Myrna Santos.
Thank you.
And she's also a former selectman. I believe she was the first female selectman
Yes, she was.
the town of Dayton ever had. Yep. She made a little history herself.
Actually, she's the one that actually was the one to get the initiative to build the new
town hall,
which is our town hall now.
Yep. Yep. It's so cool.
Yeah, she ran for selectman when I was able to register to vote. So that tells you how long ago that was.
Like it was yesterday. All
right. I guess we can get on to continuing where we left off on the Carver plan. And I got all my notes, and I forgot to write down where we left off. I think it was section F?
You want me to share it?
Yeah, if you could. It was almost 2, what, 2 months ago? Month ago?
Yeah, about 2 months ago, Mr. Chairman.
Can everybody see it?
Yep, I can see it and it looks good.
I've got microphone, and can you guys hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I can't get my video.
No worries. Honestly, what the recording will show is just the agricultural work plan that Leslie's showing. They wouldn't see any of us anyway.
Just let me know, where do we want to start with?
Where did we leave off? Was it section F or was it section E?
Oops. I believe it was F.
I think we did. I think we did F.
Yeah, we did F.
Yeah, we did F. Yeah.
All right, it was G then. That's right. Okay. I got 2 copies here. I found the other copy. Public relations and communication. About I have to clean up the language, on Article 1, coordinate information about publicized agriculture related activities, events, farm markets, and whatever community or commodities that are grown in Dayton. Promote agriculture at established functions, community events, harvest festivals, which hopefully someday we will have our Cow Chip Festival again, our Arts Festival in town. Bristol Aggie can have their spring program that they normally do every year. Next item was develop the website. How would people, okay, go ahead, Leslie.
I was just gonna say, I know that I've talked about this a couple of times, but I think even further than a website, I think social media is even more popular. So
Right.
I would advocate to do some sort of social media.
Okay. This question is probably for Brett. We
I'm
do have
listening.
we do have a budget. Is it possible that we could use some of that money to hire or get some information from a consultant to help us as far as, whether it be a website or social media, to get us set up? Or is it something that someone would want to do? I mean, that's an awful lot to ask one committee member to do. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yep. Nope. I understand, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be 100% honest. I did create the social media accounts for the town of Dayton, and it was super easy. It's very easy to do. It takes, only a few minutes. And it would be even easier for this commission simply because when the account were theoretically to be created, Mr. Chairman, we would have anyone who wanted, who's on the commission, could be like an administrator of the Facebook page or the whatever it is, Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media that the commission agrees should be created. So you would have more people to assist in providing those public outreach updates, which is the whole purpose of
Okay.
it.
All right. I'm still going old school when I'm thinking website way.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. I'm an administrator of a bunch of different pages, and it's actually pretty easy.
It is, and it's just to be clear, Mr. Chairman, it's not as intensive as like a website. For a website, I did have to, when we revamped the town website, I did need like the assistance of a vendor. That's much more intensive. This is fairly easy, as Leslie was saying.
Mhm.
And I would
Right.
certainly volunteer as an administrator too, and if, a bunch of people want to, but I would definitely volunteer.
What we do, just so everyone knows, for like the Town of Dayton Facebook page is myself, Nancy, excuse me, I'm sorry, Selectman Goulart isn't on Facebook, but if she were, she would be an administrator. Selectman Pacheco is an administrator, and of course, our administrative and executive assistants also have access. And so we all share the responsibilities in
Okay.
terms of getting the public outreach and making posts and such.
If we decided to end up making social media, we could also put those links on the Town of Dayton website under the Agricultural Commission. There's already like a tab there for us.
Yep.
I would hate to spend money on a website when we could do something for free, like you said, on social media. So I think that was a great
Well,
idea.
my only concern is to get it initially started.
Yeah.
It's too much, I didn't want to ask someone, hey, you got to do this. It's, just trying to, because we all have plenty on our plate.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, you know what we may want, and I don't know if we have a contact who, like Leslie, for example, if you know someone, or Leah, if you know someone, we may want to think about making a logo for the Dayton Agricultural Commission to use as our, what do you call it, like an avatar or our profile photo, whatever you want to call it. That may be something that we want to enlist someone else. I don't know if we'll end up needing to pay someone for that, but I doubt we all want to use the town seal, because that's of course what the Town of Dayton social media pages use. And so we want to be distinctive of that as the Agricultural Commission. And so we may want to think about some logo development. That's all.
Yeah, that sounds great. Who do you want to contact? Or who do we want to contact?
I honestly don't know. Does anyone know anyone who's on this call team?
So my cousin is a graphic design major for Bridgewater State University and is graduating this year. So I could reach out to her. She's done a lot of great work throughout the years with her art and designs.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Mr. Chairman, if the board is if the commission is amenable, maybe you want to, maybe not tonight, but at some point you may want to make a vote to authorize Ms. Peanut to like sort of do this work in terms of sussing out the logo.
Well, I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but we've pretty much got the document 2/3 done.
Yeah.
I know it's not probably following Robert's rules of order 100% to the T, but I don't think anybody's the Attorney General is going to slap us on the wrist for saying that we're going to hire or just work on a logo for what we're thinking about doing right now.
Do we want to put the logo into one of these action items?
I think it'd be a smart thing to do. If we could get the artwork back and we could look at it, and then we could go from there, and hopefully we could, approve the document and that at the same time, or maybe that before the document.
Mr. Chairman, regarding the approval of the document, for example, the Open Space and Recreation Plan was approved by the Open Space Committee, and then it's going to go to the Board of Selectmen, just to keep everyone apprised of the final document. Was that the plan for the agricultural work plan as well?
I think to follow proper protocol, I think that would be the smart thing to do.
Cool. Thank you.
I do have another idea, not that I wouldn't love to enlist a family member to help. This could be one of those first things. If we do something on social media, we could do kind of a logo contest or something like that to get people thinking about it and coming up with ideas and submitting different designs.
Honestly, Kelly, that's a gold mine idea because
That's probably a better idea.
we'll have like 10 to choose from if we do that, and it'll all be free.
Yeah. And it'll get people, buzzing about it. They'll be talking about it, seeing on Facebook. So I think that would be a great way.
And then we can say in the post that we're gonna make a social media and we need a logo, and then people will also be expecting the social media post. So when we make it, they will be more likely to, like it and then follow whatever is posted on it. So good idea.
Thanks.
That's great, Kelly. Okay. Next item is we want to make sure we advocate and educate legislators on what we're doing. Number 4, develop and distribute air quality cable programming and seasonal newsletters. I don't know, is that becoming almost a antiquated way of communicating where social media, I mean, I do more for social media, as far as Facebook and getting YouTube, as far as getting news and so on and so forth. I don't know what people's feelings are as far as being involved with, cable programming in town, or.
I think you're kind of right. I think everyone kind of goes in the realm of social media these days.
I agree 100%, but Mr. Chairman, you're referring to Channel 9 when you refer to cable, right?
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I agree with you. I do agree social media gets a lot of like the 18 to, 50, 60, but a lot of the seniors in town do utilize Channel 9. So I do think we should have a Channel 9 outreach as well, so that we're getting the entire community involved.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm also curious about, is it the Strawberry Vine, the newsletter that goes out? That could be another great way to capitalize on a commission that's going to be so generational all over the board.
100%. And we just have to be mindful that anything we want published in the Strawberry Vine needs to be sent, to them, to the Council on Aging by the 15th of each month for the next month.
Okay. Because the only reason why I said, I don't, put down Channel 9. I mean, like when I want to watch a selectmen's meeting and so on and so forth, it's because I don't have cable anymore.
Exactly. Yep.
I do everything on YouTube.
Yep, exactly. And some people so we're not doing Channel 9. Well, we are doing Channel 9, but they have to get the meetings from YouTube.
Right.
And I have heard issues where when the meetings aren't streamed, like for whatever reason, cable misses a night and doesn't stream a meeting on Channel 9. We do hear about that in the Board of Selectmen. Like people are still using Channel 9 for local stuff.
Okay,
It's a good idea. That's all I was saying. Good job, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Do they have any viewership data available to see how many people are actually viewing the information on Channel 9?
We could definitely ask them. I mean, I know Comcast has that information, obviously, because they do like ratings and stuff like that. So someone definitely has the data that we can look at. Item number H, serve as a support system for growers, farmers, serve as an advocate of the ag community. Really don't quite understand what they were talking about or meaning in that one. That was one that I always had a question mark on it from day one. Well, could we brainstorm for a second, Mr. Chairman? What does the commission think is a sign of like a commission that like supports the agricultural community? Like, what do you as farmers, because I'm not a farmer by trade, experience or practice, unfortunately, what do you guys think is a sign of being supported as farmers or people more in tune with agricultural needs?
That's a good question because it's all over the place. It's, from state regulations, federal regulations, what's coming down the pipeline, how we compete with with Mexico and Canada, which we're finally getting back with Mexico and Canada as far as regulations. We're pretty much all on the same page now, which 20 years ago, that was a nightmare. So yeah, it's, unfortunately, there's only 5 or 6 of us left in town. I think right now it's more about the open space is the biggest issue. Educating townspeople about that we're good for the town because we don't require a lot of services and we don't cost the town a lot of money in tax revenue. I mean, things like that. So I don't know if it's just we once in a while make out a statement to the townspeople what we're good for how we are good for the community, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, I
Can
think you have,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, I was gonna say, I think you have a good point, Ken, and if I can kind of expand on that a little bit, one of the major, I think, I don't want to use the word gripe, but major things that a lot of farmers have a hard time with, and I think especially in our area in Dayton, is that some of your farm products and your locally raised products obviously is a lot more expensive than what you find in the grocery store. And I think it takes a little bit of time, energy, and education to show people kind of the difference. And I think we haven't quite hit that nail on the head here in Dayton.
No, we haven't. You're absolutely right, Leslie.
Yeah, and I think, when we're selling meat or vegetables or whatever, I think local, and I'm just generalizing here, local Dayton people would almost rather go to like a Hannaford to buy, a much cheaper tomato or a piece of steak than to purchase from a local farm. So I think educating them on local products, I think is beneficial to the farmers, and it's going to serve as a huge support system, because I think that our general population don't really understand the rising costs associated with raising animals or plants or whatever on a small scale operation.
Amen,
said it.
Leslie.
You expanded it quite well. I appreciate that. Because that's what I was trying to say, and the words didn't come out of my mouth.
I think again, that's just part of education and that will come in time. It's not going to happen overnight. To this point, it hasn't happened at all, really.
Well, the community, I mean, just in our business, I mean, it's the effort that we've put into it personally on our business. But again, it's through, my wife, my daughter, and our employees. When we do something different and they post it on social media, whether most of the time it's Facebook, once in a while they do a YouTube video, but people come in and it's the response that, oh, wow, we didn't realize you guys do that. Oh, wow, we didn't realize that you could do that here.
Very much.
And again, like Leslie said, I think that's probably an effort that we really should develop a lot more on.
Because you're talking one aspect of many.
Right, exactly. It's whether it be the vegetable end of it, the plant end of it, the beef, turkey, chicken, poultry, whatever people are raising, which is growing in town. The benefits of why would I want to pay more money for this than I can do at Hannaford or Stop and Shop? And then you explain why.
And I think people just don't understand that there are local farms that are selling products. And I think, I hear all the time, I didn't know there was a horse farm in Dayton. I didn't know that people raise things in Dayton. And I think that your local kind of, local neighbor doesn't really see the agriculture that's happening in our town. Whereas if we're putting them on social media, I would love to do like a farm of the month, even if you're just saying, hey, you can go to, such and such farm, or here's a farm spotlight, and just kind of even if we did like an interview with the farm owner, whether it's a produce grower or a riding barn or whatever, just to kind of get it out there and get people knowing like what's actually in our town.
Yeah, that's great.
Leslie, I have a quick question. Originally in the Carver plan, before we started making edits, was serve as an advocate the only thing under action on theirs?
Hold on, let me check and. I'll let you know.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't have like an easily readable copy of the original. My apologies.
Can you still see my screen when I switch over? Or are you still?
Yep,
on the-
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think this was the original. Oh, where am I? Did I go too far?
Serve as an advocate, H.
Okay, yep. So it just says service.
That's all there was in there.
Thank you. Okay, that's just, yeah. I was expecting like at least a number 2. That's all.
Yeah.
Now, I think we figured out the advocate part.
Exactly. We got that covered.
Yes. Section I, provide for suitable income for local agricultural to survive. Again, provide education on agricultural economics. It's kind of like what we're doing. I don't know. Yeah. Conduct ag economic surveys. Serve as a clearinghouse for information. I don't know. Number 3 is kind of a little, I think, overwhelming for some people.
That's getting a little bit too deep.
Yeah, I think, number 1, providing education on educating, what we're doing, and the economics of it, why we do it, and why it costs more to do it here. I think it would help our cause more.
I guess I just don't really see how I mean, even just the wording of it, provide for suitable incomes for local agriculture to thrive.
I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah, it almost sounds like we're trying to provide income from them. That's not
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
How about getting rid of the provide suitable income and just leave local agricultural to survive and add to that?
I think that's a good idea, John.
so what did we want to say?
So far, that's as far as I got, local agriculture to survive, but we can add to that.
So I guess what's the ultimate goal of this part? What do we want to like accomplish?
I think we can leave the local agriculture to survive as it is, leave number 1 and number 2 and get rid of 3.
I'm just thinking of ways to help agriculture survive. I know in the city of Attleboro, they do, I don't know if it's weekly or once a month, like a farmer's market. I don't know if that's something of interest down the road that we could do to showcase our vendors besides just during fall show or anything like that.
There's a lot of and maybe Ken, you could probably speak to this, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of like regulations around farmers
Right.
markets, like you
Yeah,
have to
right
have-
now it's a nightmare.
yeah,
It's a
Okay.
nightmare.
you have to have like a
um,
certified manager and
Right,
lot.
and plus the guidelines of it got a lot stricter, unfortunately, when COVID came about.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't know, it's not that it's a bad idea. I just, right now, I don't know.
It just might be challenging in the
Right
current
now, it's
environment.
extremely challenging.
Mhm.
I mean, it's bad or no, you need to have control of your surroundings right now. I mean, what we've done through the COVID thing in our business, I mean, we work very close with Todd, with the Board of Health in town. When we have a question, we'll call Todd. If something comes up or we get an idea, we'll call Todd. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a good idea if we handle it that way or this way? And 9 times out of 10, geez, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that is a good idea. But the farmer's market is because the way people handle product and touch product. It's right now, you can't be doing that.
Understandable.
Okay. I think on this statement, I'm trying to think local agriculture to survive, and the benefit of the town is how it keeps open space open. I don't know how the words, I'm terrible at words. I'm great at ideas. I'm terrible about putting them down on paper. The benefits for local agriculture to survive, I think is what I'm trying to say. I think provide education, conduct economics, and preserves open space for number 3. I don't know what
Yeah,
people,
preserves
what
open
people
space, that's good.
think of that.
Yeah. Because that's just what they did with the community garden. They preserved that as open space now until they
Right.
built the library.
No, don't go there, John. You're going to get some people.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
John, behave. Oh. Any more ideas on section J or? I mean, on section I, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself.
I think I think we can work on the wording. I don't know if benefits local agriculture to survive. Can we work on that wording a little bit so it flows a
Yeah.
little better?
Yeah. Yes, I agree 100% with that. Right now, my thinking.
Benefits to local agriculture and take the survive out. And the two too. Does that look any better?
I like the wording better. Maybe I'm just getting too picky, I'm sorry.
Well, it
But
doesn't sound so coarse.
yeah, does the action items support benefits to local agriculture? Like, are we? Well, I guess benefits, yeah, I mean, you're preserving open space, but like conducting ag economic survey, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still here. I think that one should be eliminated and.
I kind of feel like we have a lot of this kind of covered up above. Do we
Right.
even need I to begin with? Just throwing that out there.
Well, a thought, you could get rid of 2 and just leave the education part and the preserves open space. And if they want, if in the future they wanted to do economic surveys, they could always put that back in.
Yeah, I guess just in my brain, I'm just thinking of all of the whole work plan is benefiting local agriculture.
Right.
So do we really need kind of, and I feel like the rest of the work plan, we have a lot about education. We have a lot about, and maybe we didn't specifically say in there preserves open space. Maybe we can put that someplace, but I just don't know if we actually need an I benefits to local agriculture. I don't think it flows as well as the other things do. That's all.
Leslie, I agree with you. I think when we changed the name of it to benefits of local agriculture, it kind of like took away. And like you said, I even think we have about surveys. I feel like that was in section like A. I feel like we put that in there at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I also don't have it. I'm only looking at this one document, but I feel like we had talked about that earlier.
Yeah, you're right. Section A touches on quite a bit of it. In section E, if you took, as far as maintaining open space could be put into section E, which I think it's already in there. It's just not worded properly. So I think we've already got it covered. So I think, you know, realistically, we really don't need I. I don't know, that's just my thought.
Yeah, it's awfully repetitive, especially
Yeah.
after we change the name. You don't want the work plan to be longer than it has to be just to fill up space.
Right, I don't think we need that.
Okay, so do we want to add an E, something about open spaces, maintaining?
Yes, I think in section E, for we're developing strategies for farmland protection. And, you know, it just gives you, as far as different programs you can get involved in, and the benefit of it is to maintain open space.
Isn't that covered under number 4 in that line? Serve as a catalyst for preservation of working farms landscapes.
Yeah, but it doesn't all, and it should also say open space. If we just add open space where farms, landscape, and
Yep.
open space. Just put another slash open space, and then we got it covered.
All right, so just put a slash open space after landscapes.
Right.
Okay,
We can get rid of 5.
yep. And then get rid of I.
Yeah,
Aye.
no. Well, we can't get rid of I, we just have to move J
Well,
up.
yeah.
Okay. Now let's move on to section J. Advocate for farming at town hall, state and federal levels, agencies and legislators. Ag commission members also serve on boards. Okay, been there, done that. Recommend warrant articles.
There's a misspelling in that number, that I. Participate Ag Day at the State House.
Yeah, that's J. Well, you're gonna make that I now?
Yeah.
Yep, new I.
Now, do we have any ag commission members serving on other boards? Did you say that? I'm sorry, I was behind.
Not at this, well, not in town, but, you know, I'm still a director at Bristol County Farm Bureau. And again, recommend warrant articles if we need one for the town, for a town meeting. Support of agriculture, participate in Ag Day at the State House, and in legislative education, which I do that on a regular basis. John and I both do that.
Can I ask a question? Can we
Yeah.
change farming to maybe like agricultural something? I think we used a certain term up above instead of
Instead of
Farming. Maybe-
farming.
agricultural community, or we used something that was more than just quote unquote farming.
Agricultural producers.
Producers, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you say farming, people think of like
Yeah.
cows, sows, and plows, and they're not thinking about the other things. Or we
Yeah,
could say advocate for the agricultural community. What do we like better?
I think the community gives it a wider stance, wider perspective.
Yeah,
Wider
more
group of people.
encompassing.
More encompassing, yes. Well, I did something to my phone. It now says safe driving mode. What the heck did I touch?
Do you happen to be driving?
No, I'm sitting on my kitchen island.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah. Well, I guess I am on a Zoom. Yeah, safe driving while you're in Zoom.
Has anybody else ever participated in Ag Day at the State House?
I have.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody good with section I?
I think so.
Okay. The new section J, communication, developing working relationships with town boards and staff, attend board meetings, request notification from boards, addressing issues, which I think we already got that, but just formalizing. Anybody want to add anything to that?
This one we had already done.
Yeah. Okay. New section K, serve as a clearinghouse for everything agriculture.
I think we had changed that before to serve as a liaison for the
Liaison,
agricultural
yeah.
Yes.
community.
That one's fine.
That's good. New section L, develop resources, advisors and friends engage in all aspects of work plan invitation.
Yeah, we had changed the wording on that too, to now creating a network of key stakeholders to
Okay.
engage in the aspects of work plan implementation.
Okay. And as far as that, I think we got, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. We got a big X for section M. Investigate a need for local right to farm bylaw.
Yeah, we took that
We
out.
changed that.
Yeah, establish and oversee a community garden.
Yeah.
I think our action items we probably need to work on.
Do you think we should work on those action items after our next meeting? When we hear, right, because next meeting we're hearing from the people who are doing the garden?
We can, the only thing I was thinking of, I mean, we could do broad things like create a, we can even like, so are we deciding where the food goes? Can we kind of like create a policy as far as where the food goes, or create an outlet?
I think the plan was to go to the Dayton food pantry
Okay,
or food bank
I thought it was the food bank in Lincoln Village and
in Lincoln Village and anybody else who needed it in town. But
so
I
even
think,
just something broad to say that that's where the food's going, you know?
yeah, I personally, if you're gonna raise it, I think the food pantry and then the food pantry could disperse it to somebody in town that needs it or to Lincoln Village.
well, they have the food pantries at both locations, and I just kind of,
Okay,
I think we just put a Dayton food bank and let it go at that. That's pretty broad.
How about something like create a partnership with the Dayton Food Bank to disseminate grown produce or something like that?
Yeah, that's a lot cleaner.
Yes, Leslie.
Well, you got me on an off night tonight. Okay.
And that people that are running the food, the community garden probably would contact the local scouts, but you want to put that in there anyways?
Well, are we, so as far as the people who are running it, so we kind of, I guess, quote unquote, oversee it.
See it.
Yeah, we oversee it.
So should we put something in here with, we establish a committee? Because didn't we kind of establish a committee or no?
They established a committee within themselves, the people that brought up the idea of the community garden. So maybe it would just mean that for us to have to approve the committee.
So an action item might be approval of the community garden plan.
Yeah,
Yes. Many M's.
And
Excuse
then
me?
maybe it's like oversight.
Too many M's in community.
Oh, sorry.
I can't spell, but I can read.
Looks like you were typing that, John, with your fingers.
I know. It wasn't 6 M's though, so it wasn't me.
I figured after we're all over, I'm gonna go through and make sure formatting is, good.
Okay. Now we can, I guess, move on to the new section N, which is survey, inventory, farmers, issues, needs, priorities.
I think we got rid of that and we did
Yeah.
create an information bank based on issues, needs, and priorities of Dayton farmers / producers.
Right.
Should we change that to the Dayton agricultural community instead of farmers and producers? Because as far as I know, we don't have any tree foresters in Dayton, but
Well, so I think we used farmers producers a lot up at the top, just to, instead of doing just farmers, it was like farmers / producers, but we can-
okay.
it doesn't, I mean, if we want to change it to agricultural community, whatever everyone
Well,
wants.
I know we want to make it as much as inclusive as possible.
Right. What does everyone else feel like? Should we keep it farmers producers, or should we change throughout the document agricultural community?
Well, I think we set precedents back with 3 or 4 items to go to farm community or agricultural community. Am I right or am I wrong?
I'm just scrolling up to
We're
see.
looking. Agricultural in the community,
Farm community.
agricultural producers in Dayton, yeah.
So just change it to Dayton agricultural community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Can we scratch 1, or do we still need that in there?
We can scratch 1.
And that would be draft questionnaires for the Dayton agriculture community.
Right.
So one thing I would say, I guess it would depend on your questionnaire, but do we want to leave it so that when I hear the term agricultural community, so many things can kind of be wrapped up in that because it's so broad. So if we're going to be doing questionnaires, like those questionnaires in my mind would go to the actual farmers producers.
Farmers, producers, okay. That's a good point, sorry.
Okay. That looks pretty good. Actually, looks a lot better.
And are we keeping grant writing?
I think we left that, I think we changed that one last time, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah. I think we changed that and it looks good.
I think we put Brett in charge of videos.
All right.
He left.
He gets in charge of everything. He left.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I was actually sending an email to Bill Napolitano, who's the guy who kind of got all of this started in Dayton, about the open space plan. So I do apologize.
That's okay.
Well, you
Also,
in charge of so many things.
Oh, sorry. Does the committee, Leslie or Mr. Chairman or anyone else, does the committee want Bill to come, Mr. Napolitano to come in maybe in February or whatever meeting where we think we have it sort of all done, to kind of like go over it and see if he has anything? Because I know he did the open space plan. He did the master plan or worked on the master plan back in 2014 with the planning board. So do we want him to take a look? I know he also helped Carver with theirs.
I would say that would be a good idea.
Awesome. So I will also ask him that as well. Thank you. When we have a better idea of when we think you're gonna be ready as a commission to maybe approve.
I think if we could get a rough draft for the next meeting, and then we can just kind of,
After we talk to him.
well,
Perfect.
get-
Sounds good.
yeah. I don't know if we should have him come in the next meeting, and when we will have the rough draft done by then. Or if we could send it to him so he could evaluate it.
Yep, we can always do that too. And he can just edit it, as he sees fit and send it back to us. That's possible as well. Whichever the commission thinks is best.
I don't know, I think whatever's more efficient, really,
I actually think that's more efficient because why he'll join any Zoom meeting, but I think it's more important that he takes the time to review it on his own time and then provide us his feedback and edits.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's probably the best way to handle it.
Awesome. So once we have a more final draft, then we can send it over via email.
Okay. Okay. All right, I think we pretty much got it done.
Leslie, can you go back to that last one? All the way down the bottom? That's
Yep.
fine.
Can you see it? P?
No, no, maybe it's the one before that.
Okay.
Yeah, can we change the 4 to a 3 and just move that up?
Yeah, I'm going to. I have
Oh,
to.
you're gonna, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What I'll do is I'll go through this and I'll just change format and make sure numbers are right and letters and fix the fonts and stuff like that. And then what everyone has access to it. So we can, I'll try to work on that tonight, tomorrow-ish, maybe by the end of the weekend. And then I'll send out an email and just have everyone kind of look through it just to make sure I caught everything.
Sounds good.
Very good.
Nice job. Draw us all a hand.
Yes,
Absolutely. Amazing work. Bill is going to be so excited to hear this. He's not going to think that this is this far along. He's going to be thrilled.
okay. I guess we can move on. We pretty much covered old business, and that was the review or work on the plan. Any new business? All right. Anybody want to make a motion on approving the minutes from the last meeting?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Who seconded that? Did we have a second?
I
I'll
thought John-
second that.
Okay,
Aye.
thank-
Okay, yep.
And with that, I'm looking them up for a motion.
move to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor? Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a
Sorry.
minute.
We got to set the date for the next meeting.
We send a motion.
Yeah, right.
We send the motion.
Is it the third Tuesday would be the 16th of February, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, it would be. And I'm sure that'll probably still be a Zoom meeting, correct?
Yes, for the, until the vaccine gets up and running.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
I know. We're just waiting, we're just waiting to hear if like the town will have to, distribute. There's a lot of issues at the state, like ambiguities that have not been clarified. So we're just waiting to hear back.
All I know is I was informed today that I can make my appointment February 1st to get mine.
Oh, yeah?
I think you can make it tomorrow, right? I think tomorrow's the day.
Well, I said February 1st, I can make the appointment if you're over 65 and you have one health condition.
Oh, see, we were told
I have
actually,
more than one.
Mental disorder doesn't count, John.
so phase 2 is opening tomorrow. Opening February 1st, but you can start making your appointment on January 27th is what we were told for phase
Yeah,
2.
see, I was told February 1st. I couldn't make it till then.
Oh, really?
Where
I
do
can
you
try
make it?
tomorrow.
You make it online.
Make it online, John.
Yeah.
Where?
There's a link to the website.
There's a
Oh.
website,
good
Walgreens,
website.
CVS, Stop and Shop Pharmacy.
Okay, all right.
Just go to the CDC website and it's right there.
Okay, thank you.
Just to
Okay,
let everyone know too, we moved into our new building this week and we are pretty much up and running in our new building. I
I
know that.
was curious because I saw desks and books and all kinds of material going over there last week.
Yeah.
And I says, I wonder if they're going to be doing class in there. Is it they're moving everybody over there because they're going to be working on the old campus now?
Yeah, the Gilbert Hall renovation has started. So everybody's moved over to the new building and they've already started renovating Gilbert Hall, the main building. But students are coming in, first day is Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Are they moved into all of those buildings?
Just the Center for Science and the Environment. The other smaller new building is not finished yet. I believe they're looking at March or April for that building, Student Commons, to be opened up. But right now, the only building that's open is that bigger building that has the 2 sections.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, that one is currently open. We moved in on Monday.
Right
That's
on,
really-
Leslie. That's awesome.
That's pretty impressive what they've done. Was it 2 weeks ago, they were putting all the sidewalks in and such. I'm saying, well, they're going to be putting students in here very shortly.
Yeah, our kids are very excited. I brought a couple of my classes on virtual tours today with the computer and just showed them, walked them around the building and stuff. So they're excited to come in on Thursday.
Very good. Okay. Again, looking someone to make a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will see you February 16th.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Night.